A high school girl returns home at 9 p.m. After school. Ina felt strange when the house was dark. Not the same as usual. She turned on the light but couldn't. She called her uncle, but no one answered. Ina slowly approached, but her foot stepped on a piece of the puzzle. Strange, so I immediately picked it up. At this moment, she saw a very long trail of blood, and located close to it was his beloved uncle who had been murdered. She was dumbfounded when she witnessed that scene. Shortly thereafter, the police side, present at the scene to collect 10 pieces of evidence. Ina was taken out of the house by the maid, like a lifeless person. At that time, the police officer, Sam, really cares about this little Ina. Through examination, forensic side, it is believed that the victim was murdered, harmed at 9 p.m. by a risky plane. The main victim is the former police chief, a close brother and also a sheriff's superior, Jung Ho. The perpetrator did not leave any trace. The only thing that Hansam Rookie, pay attention to this risky tree. Ina was then taken to the police station to take a statement. But in response she said that why must do this now. I don't remember anything after I walked into the house. This makes the sheriff feel suspicious, when the incident only happened for a few hours. That's why the police chief wanted to ask Ina about everything before she entered the house. Ina recalls that she left school at 8 o'clock. I took the bus and got home around 9 p.m. I opened the gate and entered the passcode to open the door of the house. Then I don't remember anything anymore. The only thing I remember is the maid suddenly appeared. I heard her call my name, and I realized I was standing in the living room. I remember seeing him lying dead on the living room floor. Police Chief Jung Ho found out 6 months ago. Ina bought a set of 3 sticks. One of them was the weapon that killed the victim. The strange thing is why Ina. There was another empty time that I didn't remember anything. In the middle of her coming home, there were no signs of break-in at the scene, and there are no signs of struggle. Prove that the perpetrator is an acquaintance of the victim. If the perpetrator is Ina, she will have 10 minutes to commit the crime. But with Hansam there is another case. If Ina takes a shortcut from the bus stop, instead of following the road as declared, then she will save another 8 minutes. Hansam took the photo of the victim lying on the floor to ask Ina. He thought that the victim did not resist at all. Despite the terrible pain, he was stabbed by a stick, and on that stick there are only Ina's fingerprints. Previous. She once quarreled with her uncle about staying in the newspaper. That's right, Ina admits that it is true. But what about the fact that Hansam thinks that Ina once quarreled with his uncle about inheritance? Then she immediately denied. Ina, always think that you really don't remember anything. Since entering the house, she has a short period of time. It was as if all memories were erased at that moment. All directions of investigation are aimed at Ina alone. But the police also have no evidence, specifically to accuse her. The next day, Ina returned to the scene. She lies down in the exact place where her uncle was murdered, to try to visualize everything that happened. She was convinced that the other piece of the puzzle is what the perpetrator left behind. 15 elapsed. Uncle Dong Han's case still can't solve it. It is a great mystery that both Ina and the police officer Hansam, they all want a solution. Hansam was still pursuing the case that year. I always thought that Ina, it is the perpetrator in all directions. Investigations are always aimed at her. Ginseng welding. Find a friend who used to share a dormitory with Ina. In the past, he wanted to know why she returned to Korea after 15 years. She said that I should leave because I hate this place. And now I feel nostalgic for this place. I should just go back. Sam asked this girl if she saw anything unusual about Ina after the murder occurred or not. She only remembered that Ina always say a sentence when leaving the room, that I was her alibi. For the past 15 years, I have always looked for a psychologist. She really wanted to know, why can't I remember anything? After entering the house that night, a gap. In my head, it only lasted for more than 10 minutes. Then what does this puzzle piece really mean? The murder of the uncle made Ina really psychologically unstable. Every time she came home, she began to think about every detail. But I don't remember anything. Sometimes she also doesn't want to film that haunting house again. Currently, Ina is working at the police department. She is an expert Criminal Psychology Analysis of Seoul Police Department. It seems that the mystery of the case. Her uncle's sentence motivated her to follow this path. That day Ina arrives at the scene of a murder case. The victim was a 10-year-old boy who was stabbed on the school desk. The biggest suspects are the victim's parents and brother. No signs of break-in, so the perpetrator must be an acquaintance. It is worth mentioning that the weapon was then washed and put back in its original place. Ina thinks that because the perpetrator is a neat person, the victim was an excellent student. There are many certificates of merit and even the first prize in the term Mathematics Olympiad. Victims with outstanding achievements. Compared to his brother. The brother was the one who discovered the body, and he said he opened the front door and took off his shoes. Go straight to your brother's room. And saw my brother stabbed with a knife. He immediately called his parents to let them know. Brother stabbed by a sharp object. Then call the police. He was so panicked that he left the house to wait. Police arrive. He had deliberately called the knife a sharp object. And this is really suspicious. He told his parents' reaction in detail. When he saw his younger brother like this, he gave a very brief testimony. But he testified at length about his parents' reaction. It was as if his brother had been killed. It is not as important as the reaction of the parents. Ina confirmed that her brother was the perpetrator. The motive is jealousy and envy. When the parents were more biased towards the younger brother, Ina then received the information. That boy was surprised, affirming that he no longer remembers anything. Finished listening. Ina wanted to talk to the other boy in person. Here Ina revealed that she is also struggling in remembering something. So let's talk about this. She used to want to talk to her uncle, so she took the bus home from school. The boy also said that his brother was at home alone. So I went home right after school. She clicked the password to the door of the house. I also clicked the password to the door of the house. She took off her shoes and walked into the living room. I took off my shoes and went to the kitchen. Oh no, I walked into my brother's room. Hearing that embarrassment, Ina, knowing the boy is trying to paint a story that is not true. She asked me where I had thrown the bloodstained suit. Hearing this, the boy immediately burst into tears. Thua knows that it is impossible to deny the sin anymore, so he admitted everything. That night, Han Sam goes to eat with Captain Jung Ho and his companion. Here he admits that he always watches Ina as the main suspect of the previous 15 cases. He wondered why a superfluous person, next to so much money, choose to join the force again, and then become an analyst. Criminal psychology. But with Jung Kof, he thinks it's the best way to just follow the case. Han Sam then went to the school where I used to study. He began to follow what Ina had declared. When the clock was exactly 8 o'clock, he left the school to get to the bus stop. The time to get there is only a 5-minute walk. After 3 minutes of waiting, Ina got on the bus number 147. She was the only passenger in the car. It took her 32 minutes to get to the nearest forest station to her house. It's 8:40 p.m., 2 minutes before Mr. Donghan was murdered. The time from here to get home is also 20 minutes. If you take a shortcut, you will save 8 minutes. No camera, surveillance, and no witnesses. Han Sam standing in front of Ina's uncle's house. Takes a long time to observe everything. At this time, a police car suddenly came. The two officers immediately recognized Lieutenant Han Sam. The two just received a phone call. Report that there is a suspicious man who is hanging around the neighborhood. At that time, the maid opened the door and went out. It was she who reported it to the police. When you see it, Sam keeps loitering in front of the house. There's a girl on this side. After leaving the bar and climbing into the my supercar, she drove through a red light. Even though the police were in front of him, the female policeman was going to chase. But because his teammates were visiting the grocery store to buy things, so she couldn't. On the other side of Ina, also returned home with an identical red car. She was about to enter when the maid opened the door and walked out. She is also planning to leave before Ina returns. At that time, a delivery man came to Ina. She didn't know who sent it because she didn't have the sender's name. Ina opened it and was startled when it was a puzzle piece. Otherwise, she immediately ran straight into the house. Put it together with the piece she had. The two really coincide with each other, but Ina don't understand what it means. She immediately called Han Sam to inform him of this, but I can't get in touch. Immediately afterwards, Ina went to Hansam's house. But Hansam didn't live here because this was his mother's house. While I was about to leave Ina, I don't remember which area I parked my car in. After a while of searching, then she saw a red car. It's very similar to my car with lights on. Ina went to check. Then he saw a murdered girl inside. That was the girl who ran the red light. Ina then immediately called the police. At this point, it is 11:50. Upon receiving the news, Hansam was also there. The victim's name is Mi Jong, who lives in this building. The perpetrator strangled her in the back. The scene was very clean, but her wallet was left behind. So this is not a robbery. Ina couldn't help but be curious when after 15 years, another puzzle piece appears. It is more coincidental that another victim is murder on the same day. She was convinced that both cases were caused by the same person. Ina goes to Hansam to show him those two pieces. One she found on the day he was murdered. The other one was only recently received. Ina is convinced that he is a serial killer. Reply to Hansam. Tell her that she is sure she didn't kill her. Then call me. I bet you are the one who solved this puzzle. Then you just do what you want. Hansam immediately called his mother to ask about this. She revealed that there was a girl who came to look for her in the middle of the night. Miss, tell him because he doesn't answer his phone. Through the security camera, everyone can see you. In driving home at 10 p.m. Between 1010 and 10:30 is the time of her death. But where the murder occurred. In addition to the camera's coverage area. Through the camera of the entrance from 1010 to 10:30. Then see the appearance of Ina. It was a coincidence that she went to Hansam's mother's house. Right at the moment when the inner eyelashes were killed. The harm of ginseng still feels suspicious for Ina. He listened to the recording over and over again. Negative of the call she made to the police to report the crime. It's like trying to find a clue. Hansam went to Ina's psychiatrist. He showed her two pieces of the puzzle and asked when. Has Ina mentioned a piece of the puzzle? But the female doctor could not reveal this matter without the patient's consent. Hansam went to the clinic to investigate about her, so she, asking directly is always why you know I am there. Why don't you ask me directly, always go. Ginseng welding. Ask why you are clicking. Stranger bell after the victim was killed. Ina joked that it was probably for proof. My alibi. You didn't find anything at the scene? I'm sure the victim died before 10:32. They killed her after leaving me a piece of the puzzle. Puzzle piece with a picture of a woman. And then a woman is killed. Hansam laughed at what Ina said. He thinks she is writing a detective story. And he must not believe it. Hansam goes to the Mi Jong victim's bar here. Bartender reveals. That day she said that she had work to do, so she had to go out early. I got off work at 9 o'clock, so I didn't know anything more. The owner prioritizes privacy first. So there is no camera installed here. When I got off work, there were about 4 customers left. The owner at that time spent a lot of time to receive a male guest. I think the manager, John will know who that man is. Hansam took out a photo of Ina and asked her to bartender. But she had never met this person before. Hansam reviews Mi Jong's call history. There is a call at 8 p.m. and a missed call from that same number. At 0945, he immediately called the other phone number. Then a man named Ho Gun answered the phone. He immediately realized that it was the director of the police department. Mr. Hogan revealed, I myself am a regular customer of that restaurant. He was quite surprised to learn that Mi Trong was dead. The first call for B Noodles is to book a table. The next call was to cancel the table at that place. But she didn't pick up the phone, so I gave up. Ginseng welding. Inquiries. How could he text but didn't do so? He was annoyed when he heard Hansam ask such a question. He thinks that, you don't need to tell every detail. Tell me about your life. Ginseng welding. Give him a form for him. Able to write a report of everything. Then he left. Ginseng welding. Calling the bar, they confirmed that it was Mr. Hogan didn't come that night. As for the last man, Myong. When I met her, the manager didn't know who it was. I only know that the person is very big. Looks like a cop. That day, I made an appointment to meet Mr. Hogan. She knew that he was the last person to call Mi Jong. Ina wants to know Mi Jong and Uncle Dong. Do your souls know each other? But Mr. Hogan could not know. The TV station reported on Mi Zhang's murder. The police have not yet been able to find the perpetrator, but the police revealed that some of the policemen of the station, welding gang, she has been booked at her bar many times. Mi Zhang, the priority cops, it is said to belong to the Order and Prevention of Violent Crime, with at least 7 to 8 people involved. Ginseng welding. Walking to the police station, I received scabies in my eyes. In the cold, they thought that he was not good. What is only good to cause trouble? They were really upset when Sam is the one who puts Hanjiang Fort in the crosshairs. Received the news that Mr. Ho Gun immediately went to the Hanjiang police station. He criticized it all because of the rumors out there. In the midst of so many things, it is still leisurely. You can drink coffee. Why don't you worry about solving the case? Captain Jung Ho immediately admitted the fault and promised to solve it as quickly as possible. Soon after, Han Sam receives a phone call from the bar manager. During cleaning, then she found the name of the guest. Finally talked to Mi Zhang. That person's name is Dong Su. Belongs to the Seoul Regional Investigation Team. Han Sam immediately went to the Seoul police station to meet Mr. Dong. Suwon showed him a few photos that Mi Zhang was murdered. He admitted, that evening I went to the bar and sat with Mi Zhang. The two just made some whiskey and enjoyed a few cigars. Mibi told her to come home early, so I only drank 3 glasses of whiskey. Then I left at 0930. Han Sam wants to know the relationship between the two, but he revealed that he and his Zhang is nothing to each other. The male sergeant thinks of Mi Zhang and feels reflective, because that night, she herself saw Mi Zhang's car run a red light. The next day, the male sergeant called Han Sam. She asked him about your case. Is there any progress in the... But he revealed that there was nothing new yet. She also hid the fact that she saw you in the car. On that evening, Captain Jung Ho called Han Sam into the room. He showed him Mi Zhang's wallet. At the scene, he discovered that there was no resident card of the one building. City he thinks the perpetrator took it away, and perhaps the perpetrator was acquainted with the victim. On this side, Ina is still having a headache with the pieces of the puzzle. The perpetrator squeezed his inner eyelashes from the back seat. He aimed very accurately at the carotid artery. He was wearing gloves, so there were no fingerprints left behind. It was clear that his only purpose was to kill people. He was intelligent, cold, and calculating. If the perpetrator is the killer of Ina's uncle, then the two must have something in common. The next day, Ina suddenly moved to the Hanjiang police station, because from now on, she will be in charge of your case. Knowing the news made the whole station stand in the picture. Han Sam immediately asked Captain Jung. Coughing about this, he said it was an order from his superiors. After listening to it, he was dumbfounded. There is no interest in working anymore. After a while, he called Ina. Go outside to talk privately. He wanted to know why she came here. Or are you afraid that we will find out something? Ina revealed that Mr. Hogan, Mr. Dongsu and Ms. Mi, inside are the puzzle pieces related to my uncle. 15 years ago in the living room, I was right next to the killer. I used to be very scared when I thought I was a murderer. But no, I just remembered one thing. It was the night that it happened. My uncle's murder had someone hiding in the shadows. Obviously, Han Sam couldn't believe it. Ina then went to a psychologist. She wondered if it was already 15. But why did I naturally remember? Will I have real psychological trauma? She thinks. Doesn't that make me feel more relieved? Maybe it's because of guilt that I remember. Maybe I felt scared at that time. So he didn't want to go back to see the perpetrator. Although I remember a few small pieces of memory about the shadow of the perpetrator that night. But Ina, still not fully believing in his own memories. Han Sam continued to check. One city building security once again. When zooming in on your car. Zhang. When I went up, I saw a rope around her neck. Surely the perpetrator was in Mi Zhang's car. Before she enters the building, Han Sam went to the place where Mi Zhang had been. This is the only place without security cameras. He imagined that the perpetrator had climbed into the car right here. But why didn't he kill him right away, but waited until Mi Zhang returns home? During Han Sam, I was checking the parking area again. Suddenly present. She didn't know where to get the information from. The perpetrator climbed into the car of Mi Zhang from before. Ina thought that he had chosen the location of the crime in advance. And this is where he wants to be able to threaten Mi Jong and bring her back here. Then he needed a space that was easy to control, and a short commute. They got into the car where there were no cameras. Like in a bar, for example. The perpetrator must have waited there patiently until Jong gets in the car. He didn't kill in a hurry, but waited until he came to this place. There must be some reason for Mi Jong to be killed here. The woman in the puzzle piece is whisper something. So the perpetrator. Did you say the same thing to Mi Jong? As for what to say, only the perpetrator knows. Ina then went into Handsome's house and sat down to eat very naturally. Mom told Hansam that I told you not to worry about her. I didn't expect you to bring her to eat real rice. Hear that? Hansam immediately denied and said that she only came to analyze. It's just my psychology. Ina asks Handsome's mother, has he ever brought his girlfriend home, Mom? He said it was a pretty personal question. Personality analysts also need to know. Yes. Actually, I'm a little interested in Lieutenant Hansam. I've been following him for 15 years. Finished listening. Hansam felt helpless, so he had to leave first. Seeing this, Ina immediately chased after him. Ina wants to cooperate with him to catch the killer. He was the one who knew her, and she affirmed, I'm not a killer like Hansam thinks. Ina needs someone she trusts. And that's Hansam. I let you make a profile of me comfortably. Keep watching me until you trust me. The next day, Hansam, bringing people the latest information about Lashes Jong that he investigated. Moreover, on the French side, he had just discovered a small fingerprint on the prop. The top of the driver's seat is still your house. Jong didn't get anything to do. At the same time, Ina brought the case file analysis report too. She also brought out 2 pieces of the puzzle for everyone to see. All think that the 2 cases have nothing to do with each other, because the second piece of the puzzle was not detected at the scene. But with Ina it is different. She said that both cases, the crimes all occurred in the victim's private space, around the time when they are alone. Pre-selected victim, and the perpetrator patiently watched and observed the prey. He chose the blind spot of the camera. After planning, finally he calmed down, waiting for the perfect time to make a move. The victim was murdered in the shortest time, with minimal impact. That shows that this is not just a crime to satisfy the pleasure of killing. All this shows the perpetrator had a deep-rooted grudge against the victims. Those points show that there is a connection between the 2 cases. There are still puzzle pieces. This is just an addition to the attraction. After listening to it, everyone is still not very convincing. And I don't really believe in Ina. Hansam wants to put aside the thing for the time being. Look up the perpetrators. Let's start with the victims. This murder. There must be a reason. Maybe it's a grudge like Ina once said. You have to find out. Who can understand this? According to research, Mi Trong has an older brother in the Philippines. The police reported the news, but it seems that the family has lost contact with you for a long time. There must be some reason why they were so distant. Mi Jong's father couldn't be contacted. When I call home, the phone rings, but no one picked up the phone. Hearing that, Hansam wanted to go to Mi Jong's father's house by himself. Ina also knew the news, so she wanted to be with Hansam. When the 2 arrived at the door, they didn't see anyone. Hansam asked a neighbor. Then I knew he was no longer there. He's already in a nursing home. Immediately, the 2 went to the nursing home to see their father, Mi Jong. Through research, I learned that Mr. Lee has completely lost his memory. At this time, suddenly Ina asked for permission to leave with a little work. Hansam walked in and asked, but Lee didn't say a word. He turned behind him and saw that the Ina had turned into becoming a high school girl. She pretends to be Eyelashes in order to easily talk to Mr. Lai. When I heard Ina introduce herself as me, in this, Mr. Lai began to answer. He said that, Dad is still wearing the coat you gave me. Every day. Ginseng welding. Call the caregiver outside to ask about it. He wanted to know when Mr. Lai had come here. He's only been here for 2 months. So do you remember who brought him? She doesn't remember who she is, but also retained the guardian's contact number. The person said it was Mr. Li's cousin, and live in the same neighborhood as him. On this side, I buy Mr. Li's favorite noodles. She asked him if he had ever told me about the winter. More than yet. Hearing this name made him hesitate, but he said he didn't remember. Mr. Lai asked if I had broken up with that idiot. Right? Of course, but do you still remember his name? After thinking for a while, Mr. Lai shook his head. On this side, Han Sam went to Mi Zhong's guardian. He asked this uncle and found out. Mi Zhong once ran away from home. In high school, since her mother died, she couldn't get up. 7 years later, she visited her father once. She carries a life jacket. Looks very expensive to give Mr. Glass. Then they brought another guy with them because they wanted to get married. But it seems that Mr. Lee doesn't like him. He used to say that you will die because of that person. I heard that the guy was a businessman, ginseng welding. Then he returned to Mr. Lee's house and saw a light. Feeling suspicious, so he sneaked inside with a gun. Body room on the hand. But when I entered, I knew that it was Ina. She asked Mr. Lee and learned that Mi Zhong once brought a guy home. If Mi Zhong had taken him home, then it will definitely leave some traces. Mr. Lee revealed that he had been here many times. Dear Ina, found a photo of a guy and her. Believe it's your boyfriend in. He has a tattoo on his neck. It looks like a Yakuza tattoo. With a photo of an unknown person like this, it was also difficult for the police to find him. Soon after, Han Sam found him, the manager of the bar, to ask about the guy in the photo. As soon as I looked at her, I immediately recognized him. That guy came to the restaurant about a month after we opened. He said that he used to know me when they were young. He was also very happy and wanted to congratulate her. He ordered the most expensive bottle of whiskey we had. About a month ago he came back here, but he looks completely different. He asks Mi Zhong to borrow money. He said she opened this bar with the money he gave her, and the apartment should have been his too. Then it made a lot of noise. The manager still kept that guy's business card. His name is Kang Chi-scoop. At the same time, Captain Jung Ho calls Han Sam. The police side. Fingerprints on Mi Zhong's front pillow have been compared, and he was Kang Chi-scoop. Immediately, the police immediately went to Kang Chi-scoop's restaurant. But he wasn't here. At his own house, Kang Chi-scoop doesn't have a house. According to research, he hadn't been home since last night. That night, Kang Chi scooped up the room of 500 people of a hotel to find someone. When he goes inside, then a moment later there was a corpse lying on the floor. The body was dragged into the toilet to decompose. Kang Chi scooped out of the hotel with a very large suitcase. Then he climbed the boat out into the middle of the river. Then throw the suitcase in the middle of the line to destroy it. The next day the police received a report. Found Kim's car. Chi scoop. Captain Jung. When I checked, there was no one inside the car. Via camera, security, everyone confirmed that it was Kang. Chi scooped him up and left the car there and went inside. But I didn't see it back. Behind the car is just a mountain. Immediately afterwards, Han Sam was present at the place where Kang Chi had disappeared. He climbed over the wall. Hey, there's just a mountain behind. The forensic team was present to examine his car. Han Sam wondered if he ever faked suicide. But Captain Jung Ho didn't think so, because Kang Ji-suk intends to go to Seoul where he lives. The forensic side found 2 coils behind the trunk of his car. One of them is very similar to the rope that the perpetrator strangled the Mi Zhong. On the police side has just received information about Kang Chi-scoop left the restaurant at 21 o'clock last night. He went to Hanam to go to his home. He then appeared on the highway at 2300, towards Payan Lake. He returned to the highway at 0229, going from Hujia. Then he stopped in the parking lot and disappeared. Han Sam wondered, would it take him 3 hours to go fishing? Or is it an affair? Just a moment later, Han Sam and the others were at the Payan Lake. Come here. He just found out that this place was really not suitable for fishing. At the same time, people get credit card news of Kang Chimuk. Last used at Hotel Y. That hotel is located next to Payan Lake. Han Sam asked the manager of the hotel and found out that Kang Chi-scoop booked a one-night stay and checked out last night. Han Sam went to room 510 where Kang Chi-scoop used to stay. Here the staff is cleaning the room. She complains when everything is messed up. Ginseng welding. Request. She stopped for him to check everything around him. When he entered the toilet, there was a very unpleasant smell. There are a lot of scratches under the floor under the tub. Washing his face is still strewn with bloodstains. Immediately, the room was cordoned off for a scene examination. A lot of bloodstains were found here. Wong scattered everywhere. The hotel confirmed that Kang Chi-scoop book at 9 p.m. Security cameras have been removed. In accordance with hotel policies, it is necessary to delete the footage at the end of the day. Another detail is that many people reflect on the 5th floor. Because last night I played a lot of music. While the staff was trying to handle it, they saw a guy in red pants pull a suitcase through the lobby. Han Sam suddenly remembered Kang Chi-scoop also wore a pair of red pants. He immediately returned to the Payan Lake. Then I saw a stretch mark on the ground. And in the distance was a small boat. Immediately the team of divers immediately arrived to check everything under the lake bed. Not long after, they found a red suitcase. Inside was a piece of the victim's body, but lack of hands and head. The perpetrator did so to hide his identity. The victim has already looked at room 510. She thinks that Kang Chi-scoop is not the perpetrator, dealing with the person in the suitcase. According to her research, Kang Chi-scoop was kicked out, leaving school for fighting. Then he was also expelled later, leaving the workplace with similar behavior. He is a vulnerable person and act on emotions, but the killer it is extremely disciplined and accurate. Make sure to leave no evidence at the scene. With Kang's hot-tempered temper, Chi-scoop, she didn't think he could come up with a plan. It's possible to be so thorough. Source Ina. Speculation is that the corpse in the suitcase is Kang Chi-scoop. Surveillance cameras, clothes at the rest stop, shows he wore black gloves that night. But why does a person have to wear gloves when driving your car? Are you sure it's him in that video? Or someone else? Passed the test. DNA, the corpse in the suitcase is Kang Chi-scoop. This made the police extremely confused. Shortly thereafter, Kang Chi-scoop's wife was summoned to take testimony. She choked up when she found out that her husband had passed away. Han Sam offers a photo of a mysterious man. Drove Kang's car. Chi-scoop him deliberately appeared in front of the camera. To distract the police side, Ina personally sought out his wife. Kang Chi-scooped up to ask some questions. Previously at the police station, Zhang Hai affirmed that he did not know who is Mi Zhang, but Ina thinks she's lying. Here, Zhang Shi admitted that Kang Chi-scoop also often mentions eyelashes. In front of her, he often tells me that, "Do you remember the apartment you gave me in? Do you know how much it costs now?" He kept saying that when we moved back. The first house. Immediately afterwards, Ina wanted to see Kang Chi-scoop's private room. Two husband and wife sleep separately because of Zhang Shi can't stand the sound of her husband's breathing. Ina felt that there was something very suspicious about his wife. Kang Chi-scoop. Han Sam is also questioning Kang Chi-scoop's wife. She once claimed to be Kang Chi-scoop. Didn't go home that night, but Han Sam has a video recording the scene of Kang Chi-scooping appeared at his home. On this side, Ina went to Handsom's house. She called him, but he didn't answer the phone. Ina turns on the light to check Handsome's fingerprints on the door lock. Miraculously, after just a few attempts, Ina entered the correct code of the house. Then she went to the side on her own. It looks like my own house. A little later, when Han Sam returned home, he was startled to see Ina. Here he asked, and she said that I brought pizza. Came but called him but couldn't. Han Sam also ran out of words to this crazy girl. Han Sam asked, "How did you know my house password?" She said, "I knew. We will come up with the same combination." And his code was the day my uncle was murdered. For him, it was a case. The first and also the case. The only case he couldn't solve. Immediately afterwards, Ina talked about Kang Chi-scoop's case. Ina feels suspicious of his wife when he heard the news of her husband's death, and she didn't ask anything about it. Zhang Shi seems to be the type of person who wants to know everything, but she didn't ask about the investigation, or whether there are any clues. Think the same as Ina. Tense Han Sam. He also wanted to interrogate Zhang Shi again. At the same time, he hopes Ina stopped treating him as if the two were friends. The next day, Zhang Shi was summoned for questioning. He showed her the video of Kang Chi-scoop appears at home. She said that I probably fell asleep that day, so I don't know if he will go home. After her husband called her that night, then why did she turn off her phone until morning? What did she do during that time? Jiang Shi immediately said to sleep at home. So apart from her husband, did she meet anyone else? Here she is redundant. He had been back and forth with 3 to 4 other men. After listening to it, everyone was startled. Among the men that Jiang Hai used to go back and forth, Hansam, know that there is a person who is a tennis player. She revealed that the two broke up a month ago, so she didn't think he had a motive to murder Kong. She scooped, but there was one thing that made Jiang Shi. The question is, that athlete once told me that, can he replace my husband if something happens to Kong? She scoop, I think you should find him in person to ask about everything. Shortly thereafter, Hansam looked for the other athlete. He admitted to breaking up with Jiang Shi a month ago, but she's not the only person him dating. To me, Gypsy is just a sex game. Ginseng welding. Ask about the wounds on your hands. Then he said it happened while playing sports. But there is one thing that makes me very curious. In the past, Jiang, he once asked me, if her husband goes missing, can I replace him? Because her marriage is 7 failures. Through what Jiang, he and the athlete named Ji Good declared. Hansam said that the two were accomplices. They used to be in the same class together. In the senior year of high school, they lost contact until Jiang he joins Jegut's tennis club. About a year ago, he put forward a theory that if Kong Chi Scoop discovered the relationship of those two people, then he will go crazy. Maybe they were planning to provoke the Kong Chi Scooped and killed him. How about a call from Zegut and Kangshimuk would rush there? The motive and circumstances are very clear, but we don't have concrete evidence to accuse. Ina thinks we need a confession. They're trying to blame each other, so we just have to let them do it. Need to find a worse liar among those two people. Immediately, Zeus was summoned to the police station for questioning. Hansam asked Zeus that he really understood Jiang He's person. No, he admits to getting used to it. Jiang He since he was in high school. It should be understood very well. So Jiang Shi, have you ever told me about her family? I know her parents died when she was a child, so she raised her and her sister later. She also told me about the death of her grandmother and the older sister. They were burned down in a fire. She wasn't at home at the time. So do you think she's lying? The press reported that this was an act of arson and the perpetrator still missing. At that time, no one suspected Jiang Shi because she is only 13 years old. A poor girl who lost both her grandmother and her sister. One day everyone feels sad for her. Then there was a person who became a suspect like you are now. So a 15-year-old boy lives at home next door to Hansam, trying to hit the psychology of Zegut to force him to confess everything. The room next to Ina was also interrogating Jiang Shi. Tell Jiang Shi about the case of his uncle and was. Hansam was suspicious until 15. This made her laugh sideways. Next, Ina said that the red Lee that we salvaged from the reservoir, exactly like my suitcase. Is that suitcase yours or not? This side. Zegut refuses to tell the story and he wants to leave. Hansam immediately said that he didn't think. You will be safer in custody. How did you see how she chopped up the body? That's right, everyone is related to her. They all received the same end. Turned out that day, Zegut is present in the toilet, and he witnessed Jiang Zai's dismemberment. Kong Chi scoops now when he hears Hansam saying that made him feel horrible, and so he began to reveal everything, according to Zegut's instructions. Then the police found the rest of the Kong Chi scoop. The perpetrator was confirmed to be Jiang He's wife. The accomplice was her mistress Zegut. Both are forecast to face the extremely strict sentence from the law. Moreover, the victim Kong Chi scoop is believed to be a person. Joined hands with the owner of the Mijong pub. Solve this problem. Help dispel suspicions of Hajong police station. Regarding the case of Mijong, Anna disclosing to a psychologist about the cause of the crime. Jiang He she didn't kill her husband for money, or because of the affair, and she did so. It is because they need a place where there is peace. Her husband kept encroaching on space, privately, and don't leave her alone. So she got rid of her husband, out of his life, just like when she and her sister died. Ina returned home and saw a yellow bag of goods, familiar in the mailbox. She opened it and inside was another piece of the puzzle. A picture of a man is marked. To show fragmentation, the mysterious person has not stopped, but always clinging to Ina's life. She wondered if Jiang was sure. Hai was the one who murdered Kang Chi-scoop, so why did I get this puzzle piece? Mysterious murders have nothing to do with Kang. Star Scoop. Ina immediately ran into the house to put this third piece in. This completely coincidence and a piece in an overall picture. Ina thought that Kang Chimuk was the target of the mysterious person from the beginning. So why didn't he take matters into his own hands with the Kang Chimuk? 3 pieces of the puzzle show every detail of the gun, whispers and armbands. Everything made her even more confused. Seeing Jiang Shi, she showed her the third piece of the puzzle. But she didn't know what it was. She had never seen such a thing before. Ina asked Jiang Shi, was there a time when she felt like she was being watched? It seemed that he already knew that she wanted to kill Kang Chi-scoop. Jiang Shi suddenly remembered a strange thing in the reservoir. When she threw away the body, then she felt like she wasn't there alone. It's as if someone is watching you. This side added another murder that took place. There was a man who died from poisoning. According to speculation, he died between 1 and 3 a.m. Ina was also present here. According to her, this may be a poisoning. Intentional homicide. The perpetrator may have put poison in the alcohol beforehand. He made the victim drink poisoned alcohol, and he had no doubt or resistance. He couldn't do it. If there is no real plan, type, a cold and calculated blueprint. All of these characteristics are suitable for murder. The puzzle piece was recorded by the camera the police released. Currently, the victim and 3 friends have been drinking together that evening. Then the 3 of them left one after another when the sky turned bright. The first uncle testified that, at first I just thought he was sleeping. When I woke up it was 7 a.m. I shake to wake him up, but he wasn't awake. His hands were very cold at that time. At this time I just checked. Then I knew he was no longer breathing. The second person testified that, we started drinking at 8 p.m. At that time my wife called because she didn't want me to come home late. And so she and I had a big argument. By phone. I remember it was about 1 a.m. The third person admitted to going extra to buy bait and alcohol, because it runs out halfway. I don't remember exactly what time it was, but when I came back I saw in Han and Yung. Chun is asleep. The station is not there. Since no one was drinking anymore, I went home in the middle of the night. Through the surveillance camera all 3 testified very well. None of them looked like they were lying. According to Ina's speculation, then the perpetrator was not necessarily targeting him in the Han. He may have targeted all 4 of them but 3. The other person was lucky to escape death. It is very likely that the perpetrator is the one who holds a grudge against all 4. Ginseng Welding. Suddenly, he remembered that there was a silver-haired uncle who looked very suspicious. When he came to inspect the scene, he was immediately taken to the station for questioning. Mr. Jiam was a janitor there. I used to go in and out of the break room many times before the murder occurred. Ginseng Welding. Wonder. I don't know what he put in the bucket on his stroller. Mr. Jiam testified that I was a janitor, so going in and out of the break room is my job. In the bucket there is nothing but cleaning tools. And the fact that I don't like people drinking alcohol in the break room is real, because it is also related to my work, which, I don't know what the other 3 told you, but I'm not the one who made it. There is another notable detail. As the son of the victim in Han had just died a year ago, this makes Ina curious. Soon after, she and Han. Sam comes to check on his house in Han. Everything here looks very clean. It's like the victim is preparing for a trip. So far, Ina saw a very close group photo of 4-person. In addition, there are no photos of the family. She seemed to have found the answer. She wanted to ask the other 3 people. Why did he want to kill all 3 of them? Immediately afterwards, Han Sam asked the 3 of them about this. But all are silent. He continued to ask. So all 3, what did he have to do with his son's death? Only Mr. Zhang Han did not. What happened at the factory? In the winter of last year, Mr. John has told me everything. I'm just waiting for you guys to tell the truth. Mr. John said that, a year ago Zhang Han's son come here to work while waiting for university. At that time everyone was happy to welcome him. Then one day Mr. Zhang Han was not at the factory when his son had an accident. He was taken to the hospital, but it was too late. He is said to have been caught up in the conveyor belt. But what is the truth? Only the other three knew. Turned out that day, Mr. Jun Chun told him to go sweep the garbage in the carousel area. He then returned to his room while two friends were waiting. To drink a little later, the three heard a cry. Saved, startled, ran into the factory to see. At this time, he was trapped in the carousel. The three did not call an ambulance. It was to call the previous boss. But he didn't answer the phone. And then the three agreed, together with a testimony that the three did not leave their working positions. It's just because he's careless. That's why the accident happened. Han Sam thinks that Jong Han was furious when he found out about it. If you don't leave his child alone, then there was no accident. If only you had called an ambulance earlier. Then he didn't have to drink a glass of soju. Contains that toxin. Mr. Jong Han, after mixing the poison into the wine, he immediately destroyed the bottle. The poison, then he put the bottle of wine in the refrigerator. Then wait for the time to drink. He chooses when his colleague is drunk and two other people were not present to drink. Poison wine bottle. It seems that he wants to assign guilt for three colleagues, when you know they are the cause, causing his son to die. But this makes me extremely curious. She wondered why Jong Han was doing so, instead of killing all three of them. If he really wants to blame murder on their heads, why not come up with a better way? His house looks so clean and tidy. If he had chosen death, then what's the need to do that anymore? How could anyone care about it? It's like a preset stage. There is not a single family photo hanging on the wall. Only one photo taken with a colleague, as if he wanted to direct everyone's attention to it. The female psychologist said that sometimes people fall into a stalemate. They may kill others or harm themselves. He is in the second category. He committed suicide because he couldn't kill others. Just thought he hoped the other three would be labeled. Mark is a murderer, so that's all he should do. That evening Ina went to Handsome's house on her own. When did you see her here when you came home? She has also prepared wine and bait on the table. Here Ina shows Han Sam the third mysterious puzzle piece. He realized it was simulating Kang's case. Chi-Scoop Ina is convinced that the sender, this piece of the puzzle, used to be a killer. She wondered if the previous three cases were the perpetrators, not the victim. It's the same as his case this time. If you're older, what about Mi Jong and Kang Chi-Scoop who have committed crimes? Maybe they are the culprit in a certain case. And there must be many other culprits that have not yet been revealed. We only have 3 pieces of the puzzle, but the latter can be 6 or 9. Who knows? We will get even more because the mysterious person behind. The next day, Han Sam wakes up and sees Ina carrying a lot of boxes of things into the house. He immediately asked her what she was doing. Then she said that you don't remember what you said last night. Turned out last night, during the Ivory Han Sam, Ivory is drunk. Table. As for using his house as a basis for investigation. And then he happily nodded his head in agreement. Now Ina, bring things related to the cases here. She used the house of Han Sam to serve as a basis for investigation for 2 people. According to what Han Sam has learned, Ina's uncle and Mi Jong has never had a criminal record. Kang Chimuk used to drive while drunk and use of violence. In the list of relevant people, Ina is curious about the name Dejosu. Han Sam revealed that he was one of the people that Kang Chi-Scoop calls before death, with up to 3 calls. Then she was sure that there must be some reason. Han Sam called Captain Jung Ho to ask about John Su. I learned that he once denied knowing Kang Chi-Scoop. However, the call between the two lasted nearly 2 minutes. Obviously, they are not 2 strangers. Immediately afterwards, Ina personally went to Mr. Jansu. She asked about Kang. When he scooped it, he said he didn't know who that person was. So why Kang? Chi-Scoop called a stranger 3 times. Do you know Mr. Dong Ho and Ms. Mi Chung? The names I mentioned are related to a name. It's a serial killer. Perhaps he was looking for his next target. He was waiting for an opportunity to attack. And maybe he's targeting him. Umbrella. No matter what he said, he still didn't say a word. On this side, Han Sam went to the prison to meet Jiang Shi. He asked her about the man named John. So he is running a construction company. Hearing this, Jiang Shi remembered that my husband once mentioned a chairman. Construction company. He asked him to be the master. Kiss for our wedding. But he didn't. Ginseng welding. Give a photo of Mr. Jansu. As it turned out, Jiangxi admitted that it was him. 3 years ago. Then my husband and I went to see him together. He looked very rude and seemed to be very hateful. Hate my husband. However, he said that both of them used to have a good time. That evening, Hansam. When I returned home, I saw a pile of things in front of the door. Ordering, he was annoyed. Then he asked when she was swept away from here. She was as if she was the owner of this house. Ina stubbornly told me why I had to leave the base. This is a place where I feel like I sleep very well. The day he fell asleep on the table. Then I slept on this sofa. When I woke up, I saw that 2 hours had passed. Normal. I couldn't even sleep for 5 minutes anymore. But for the first time in the past 15, I had an extremely good night's sleep. I always wonder why I can sleep well here. I realized that there are no ghosts here. As for my house, I was really haunted. But I couldn't leave the house, because I need to know what happened to the person. My uncle was right then. Hansam receives a phone call from his superiors. When Mr. Jansu, just found dead at work. Through the examination of the body and the scene, it is believed that the perpetrator stabbed him above the vertebrae. First, if the needle is hidden under the hair, it will be very difficult to find. But he recklessly stabbed him under the 6th vertebra. He seemed to want it to be found as soon as possible. Individual. The murderer may have been hiding somewhere in this place before. But Ina wonders, how did he get in without being detected? That day, Ina received a 4th piece of the puzzle again. She wasn't too surprised because she understood this. Sooner or later it will come. Same. At that time, the forensic side had the results of the autopsy. Cause of death of Mr. Jansu. It is due to hypoglycemic shock due to insulin overdose. We found a needle mark on the back of his neck. It seems that someone deliberately gave him medicine. Overdose. Ina returns home with a clown puzzle piece. It seemed as if he wanted to imply that the clown was Mr. Joshua. The overall picture is gradually unraveled. When every detail around looks like one. That's an amusement park. Ina, convinced that these 4 people are related to each other. But somehow it's still a sign. Ask a big question. Hansam is really worried about Ina. When he thinks the murderer is targeting her. But I don't think so. If he wanted to kill her, he would have done it a long time ago. He let Ina live for some reason. Maybe she wanted her to find the meaning behind the puzzle pieces. If he wanted to kill her, then you have to wait after the pieces. Grafting is completed. Soon after, Captain Jung Ho made an appointment to meet Hansam. Here he revealed that he could not find fingerprints or DNA at the scene, and there were no weapons. Security cameras are also abnormally deleted. And the camera on the ground floor. Then I have already sent someone to check. Captain Jung Ho. He wanted to know why he wanted to learn about him that day. Jansu. And then he was murdered on the same day. Hansam couldn't explain to the captain. So he promised to say it all. After it all ended. This side Ina. Sit and find all the amusement parks in the country. She hopes. One of them is the scene behind the puzzle pieces. Ina stopped in front of a photo of the Ferris wheel. It was really very similar to the puzzle piece she had just received. The next day, I immediately went to that amusement park. It is the scene depicted in the puzzle. Of the mysterious person at that moment, the boss walked over and asked, "Want to play it? You should play while you can. Because at the end of this month we are closed. I've been in business here for 33 years too. Do you know that in the past 33 years, there were any accidents or deaths here?" No, he immediately affirmed that he did not. Only cases of children getting lost because of too many customers. That night, when Hansam returned, he found that the house had been renovated. Decorate as an amusement park. On the board are a lot of photos, and she just took a picture in the park. Ina thinks that there must be some special reason. Then this actual location will be included in the puzzle. She has not been able to find the connection of the 4 victims. And not at the park. What kind of accident has happened? What does that place really mean to the mysterious person? The next day, Hansam returned to the scene of Jansu's case. He handed it to the receptionist. See photos taken at the scene. He wanted to know what was in it that didn't belong to him. Jansu. Without watching it, she can't know. Here Lieutenant N discovered something unusual. He remembered that next to his sandals Jong-soo, there used to be a handkerchief. But why are there no photos? Hearing that, the receptionist thought that the President Jun-soo. No handkerchief. This made both of them feel extremely strange. Lieutenant N always affirmed that it was time to arrive at the scene. Saw that handkerchief. He was the first to arrive at the scene. Behind him are Lieutenant Jong Ha, Captain Jeong and the forensic team. The two then reviewed the camera. Recording of the scene examination. This video also does not record the handkerchief. But Lieutenant N confirmed that he had seen it. Someone must have taken the evidence. Han Sam sent a message to Lieutenant N. Don't reveal this to anyone, because it is really very important in this case. Sit at a desk. Han Sam observed the first move. Actions of those who arrived at the scene. After Lieutenant N. He really wanted to know who had taken the evidence. That day immediately after, Han San wants to talk to Captain Jung privately. Cough. He told him about having a handkerchief taken away at the crime scene. Han San is suspicious of the killer, or his accomplice is at work. Hanjiang Police. Jung Ho also advised Han San to tell Lieutenant N. Don't tell this story to anyone else. On the way home, Han Sam called Ina, but she didn't pick up the phone. After a while, I found out that Ina was in your apartment. Then he drove there. Here she asked Han Sam that his mother lived very close to him. But why did he live so alone? If I were with my mother, wouldn't it be weird? Why is it that both my mother and I feel uncomfortable? When I was a child when my father died. Then I don't allow my mom to date with other men. Then I insisted on keeping my father's belongings. Ina asks for a reason. She revealed to Han Sam the apartment. This household is the common feature of Mi Jong, Kang Chi-scoop and Mr. Jong-soo. Mi Jong be the owner of this apartment before liking Kang Chi-scoop. But in the past, the first owner was Mr. Jong-soo. I suddenly remembered what Kang Chi-scoop had said to Mi Jong at the bar, that her apartment was originally his. What the three of them have in common is the location, not a trait. If the place is an apartment, then for me I will register to own it right away. Previous. Ina has checked the transaction history of this apartment. But what intrigued her, especially what happened, right where she was standing, according to Ina's speculation. Then apartment 1. This city is owned by Mr. Jong-soo I. He then transferred it to Kang Chi-scoop, and then he transferred it back to Mi Jong. So what is the reason that Mr. Jong-soo again transferred to Kang Chi-scoop and Mi Jong? Is it related to some benefit? According to what Han Sam, if you can investigate, this apartment is not involved in litigation or accidents. The strange thing is that the transfer only takes place for a short period of time. Surely, these three people have made some kind of agreement with each other. Ina once thought that all four victims were capable of former perpetrator. So Han Sam, it is speculated that the other three have received this household was to hide some of Mr. Joshua's crimes. But what makes Ina? The question is, why didn't my uncle receive benefits? What's in this case? Why are there no termites? What is the link between her uncle and the other three? There must be some reason that her uncle was the first case. Han Sam thinks the link lies in the Hanjiang Police Department, because the one city apartment is under the management of the police department. The general scene of the crowd used to be the head of the department for a year. Did he turn a blind eye to a case? A certain case related to one city. The next day, Han Sam made an appointment to meet with his colleague of the SEO and police department. I want to know the overall scene of more people. What kind of person you used to be. Mr. Dong revealed that he was an extraordinary man. As a police officer, a talented person, so his superiors love him very much. But one day he was pushed away to appease public opinion. It is related to the mass murder in Yongbyu. Every Monday, when it rains, a murder case appears again. Then put the socks on his face. After 5 victims were murdered, then everyone will know that it came from a perpetrator. In the midst of that chaos, Mr. Dong Han gets caught up and receives criticism. On this side, I went to a psychologist again. Here, Dr. Lai wanted to know about the place that helped her sleep better than she wonders. Why can I sleep in such a dirty place? And what kind of person the landlord really is. But I don't want to mention it. She wanted to talk about her uncle. I think he's a different person than I know. Last time, the doctor told me to follow my uncle's choices. Actually, I was gonna close my eyes and turn a blind eye, because I don't know what will happen. Ina asked Dr. Lai, is there anything you want to ignore or avoid? She admits that there are secret things, so it can't be disclosed. While about to leave, Ina encountered the male lieutenant. She also came here for psychological treatment because of Mi Zhang's case. Immediately afterwards, the male lieutenant told Ina, heard about the murder that night. Then she saw, in her eyelashes. I remember very well because of the Porsche. Expensive but eyelashes in running. Moreover, she ran a red light in front of me. It was almost 10 o'clock at night and the road was very empty. So I didn't chase. If I stopped her car at that time, maybe it wasn't like that. Ina thinks that Mayan running a red light is for a reason. She was trying to signal for help to the police, because the murderer was threatening in the car. She comforted the lieutenant. Nam said that even if she stopped the car, then the result will not change. So don't torture yourself anymore. When Ina returns, Han Sam reveals the reason why. Uncle Dong Ho suddenly quit his job at the police station. And yet, for a long time she thought that he quit his job because of her. She wondered what kind of case that talented uncle had hidden. Soon after, Han Sam finds a defamation lawsuit against my Ung Sung Daily. When the victim's family member sue this newspaper and the reporter in charge. Defamation. It only lasted 3 months. Then it ended with the decision not to prosecute anymore. The plaintiff is the younger brother of the last victim in the case. Serial murder in Yungbu. This case is also the reason, causing more uncles to quit their jobs. Both of them wondered, is the suing person the perpetrator of the case? Immediate piece of the puzzle. The two people immediately looked for the victim's brother. Here, this uncle admitted that his sister was a victim. The last person in that case. It's been 25 years, why did the police come now? He still has a grudge. Because if the perpetrator had been arrested earlier, his sister wasn't like that. A reporter of my newspaper, Ung Sung, also said that his sister was a beer girl hugging. It made him go crazy. That's why he sued them for defamation. After that, he was suppressed by the police department, making him even more angry. When he heard that Mr. Dong Han was dead, makes him very surprised. He also revealed, let both of them know that it is the name of the reporter of the newspaper. The United States is armed. Also died by suicide. On the way back, Ina wondered the tense reporter. That brother really killed himself. Ginseng Welding immediately called a senior to ask for clarification on this. Immediately afterwards, the senior brother gave it to him. Sam's case file of reporter Kang Hyun. Review the photos from the scene that year. Then there was another piece of the puzzle lying next to him. This case occurred before the case of Uncle Dong Han. It is 8 months. So Ina's uncle is not the first case. If Kang Hyun's case is the first, it must have left a few clues there, because the perpetrator could not do it perfectly. For the first time, commit a crime. The next day, Han Sam suddenly asked for a few days of leave. Then he gave it to Captain Jung Ho. View the report on the linkage of the previous 4 cases. He also admitted that he is cooperating with Ina to investigate the perpetrator behind the case. The puzzle piece Mr. Jung Ho wondered about was the case. Kang Chi Scoops has already caught the perpetrator. But Han Sam thinks that Kang Chi Scoop is also the target of the killer. Jung Ho thinks that in the situation, I don't know who took the handkerchief. Is the publicity of the case too hasty? The important thing is that we still don't really trust Ina. Jung Ho refused to give Han Sam a leave of absence. He wants Han Sam to temporarily not come to the office. But the investigation into Mr. Josh's case must continue. If there is any new information, then tell me right away. Han Sam asked the senior about Kang Hyun's case 15 first. He also feels unstable. When Kang Hyun was confirmed to have committed suicide, died with a plastic bag on his head. It's really weird. At that time, the examination could not be carried out. Autopsy because the family protests. Fiercely, Kang Hyun divorces his wife and lives with his son. A long time. Suffering from severe depression, he always drinks and sleeping pills. Han Sam asked the senior brother, do you remember a piece of the puzzle at the scene of the crime? Hearing this, he suddenly remembered that piece of the puzzle. It was neatly placed next to the body. I asked Kang's son. Hyun said it wasn't. Its drawings on it look very uncomfortable. On it is drawn a man holding a camera. But the highlight is that the eye has been stitched up at the same time. Ina found that piece of the puzzle after a while. 6. Find in the warehouse. The senior brother also revealed. Mr. Jung Ho at the cave department. Zhang is the one who knows this case best. Jung Ho was originally the person in charge, but suddenly being dispatched to the special investigation team of the general department. So I took over. Actually, Jung Ho has done everything before, and I only follow the orders of my superiors. It's the end of the case. Hearing the name of his captain made him. Sam really stood in the picture. Immediately afterwards, Han Sam made an appointment to meet Mr. Jung Ho. Here Han Sam admits, once watched Jung Ho as an idol. Let yourself learn. I used to think that someone like you should be a police officer, because he is a warm person and justice to everyone. But it seems that I was wrong. Why didn't you tell me that you were a police officer, in charge of Kang Hyun's affairs? In that case, a piece of the puzzle appeared. That case was the first piece of the puzzle. He knew all that, but why was he so silent? The handkerchief was taken by you, right? But Mr. Jung Ho immediately denied it. He asked Han Sam if he knew all about Ina. How well you understand her. Do you know anyone who was right upstairs in the apartment where Kang was? Did Hyun commit suicide? It's you, his son and friends. Includes Sun Gue, Jonghan and Ina too. There was a group study that day. Math at a friend's house upstairs. The class takes place from 9 p.m. until midnight. Camera records everyone going home. At 0 hours and 5 minutes. But among them there is no Ina. She said she wasn't feeling well. So I went home early at 11 p.m. But at that time Ina did not leave the apartment complex. Time of death. Kang Hyun's estimate is from 10 p.m. to midnight. Only the alibi evidence of Ina. The date of the crime is unclear. But I couldn't meet her, so the whole scene was crowded, preventing the, according to Mr. Han's words, that day Ina. I felt suffocated, so I went to the rooftop. Then stay there until the end of the session. I really want to investigate Kang Hyun's case in depth. But he was suddenly sent to another place. 8 months later. The same is true of the murdered Dong Sol. Ina's alibi evidence is also unclear. Arrived in this country. Did you really believe in her or not? Decide Ina. Finding the apartment complex where Mr. Kang Hyun was murdered. That day was indeed. She and her friends had an extra class upstairs. She remembers that Mr. Kang Hyun at that time. Drunk and holding a bag of wine in his hand. He's cursing. Curse someone over the phone for pushing you to this point. It was 08555 minutes before the class started. Ina goes through the stairs. And she kept hearing him. Scolding the person on the other end of the line. She greeted him and then continued to the group study location. While sitting in class I felt suffocated. So please leave early. And it was 11 p.m. Then Ina went to the rooftop alone. Then she listened to the familiar music that she often listened to. At that time, Ina saw a person entering through the main door. It seems that it was the mysterious person who took action against Mr. Kang. That brother was the first murder of the perpetrator. But he did it perfectly. Leave no trace. But his mistake was that no one cared. The piece of the puzzle he left behind and no one wanted to clarify. This is a case of murder, not suicide. Returning home, Han Sam reveals to Ina. Knowing that Mr. Jung Ho is suspecting her of being the perpetrator. Because time happens. The murder coincided with the time she asked to return. During a group study. Ina. I also told Han Sam that I was tired at that time. Should apply in advance. I couldn't go home because I was afraid of him scolding me. So I went to the rooftop to breathe the air. So why in the archive? She said she didn't know him. Kang Hyun. So, he didn't tell me about the handkerchief. Stolen. Why did Mr. Jung Ho knew about Kang Hyun's case but didn't say anything? Why did I mention the puzzle piece in the first place? Then he ignored it again. Return home, Ina. Looking back at the call history, I learned that Mr. Kang Ho called Tran Jin. She wondered who Tran Jin was. At that moment, the maid walked in by the way. Ina asks her about the person named Tran Jin. The maid heard the name very familiar. But I don't know that person's face. The next day, after getting Mr. Chen's information, Due T Ina immediately found him. The reason why the maid listens. Very familiar name. It is because Mr. Tran Due often sends gifts to his uncle Dong Ho. When I heard Ina mention Mr. Kong Hyun, Mr. Tran Due immediately stopped. He asked Ina how she knew him. Is she really the granddaughter of the crowded general scene? The next day, Hansam called Ina. Then a police officer in Jeju picked up the phone. Police officer reveals Inspector Ina. Something should be at the Jeju Police Department. She is a suspect in a murder case. After hearing this, Hansam was really surprised. It turned out yesterday after Ina. When he left, he drove the yacht to the sea. Just a moment later, he was handed over by the puzzle killer. What a coincidence. When night comes, a man discovers Ina pulling something, and the thing underneath is Mr. Slippery. That is also the reason that she was arrested by the Jeju police. At the police station, I didn't declare anything. Knowing the news, Hansam immediately came here. He really wanted to know what had happened, but she didn't reveal. Instead, Ina said that, if you believe me, I'm not the perpetrator. If you don't believe me, I'm the perpetrator. Trying to ask. But I only got 3 words back, I don't remember them. Through the examination of the scene on the boat with footprints and fingerprints of Ina. Then he was seen holding a rope, tied to the victim's body again. Time. Death was determined to be between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. Last night there were a few tourists who saw Ina stay with the victim at a little more than 17 hours. All evidence is now aimed at Ina, but she refused to open her mouth. Mr. Ho Gun and Mr. Jung Ho also found Ina. Jung Ho really wanted to know what she was hiding. Reply Ina. Tell that the captain is the one who is hiding something. Then you have to stand next to. Mr. Ho Gun did not understand what the two were talking about anymore. At this moment, Hansam present and he wants to talk to Captain Jung. Ho Hansam wanted to know why he mentioned the puzzle piece in the first place. Then he didn't say anything. He said that it was because I didn't believe in Ina. She must have calculated something. So I need to know something. On this side, Dr. Lai is participating in a conference. The person who is presenting is Dr. Hang. He's telling people the story about a boy became a shadow. The boy had been living with his father in the truck for 15 years. Many times brutally beaten by his father. So he escaped to an orphanage. That's when he met me for the first time. The patient was severely depressed at that time. I would love to see that patient better. I also went to the orphanage regularly. But one day, that patient suddenly came to my clinic with a very serene look on his face. Then he said it was all right now. He wants me to look in the eye, as if he wanted me to see something in his eyes. That's when I learned that the patient had killed his father. Finished listening, startled the people present below. At that moment, Dr. Lee received a message from Hansam about the problem of Ina. She immediately called him back and found out Ina is being detained at the Jeju Police Department. Knowing that I had a problem, Dr. Hang, I also want to follow. Not long after, the two were at the Jeju Police Station. Dr. Lee, he said that before coming here I heard the story. Patient of Dr. Hang falling, so are you going to fall too? Ina has questions about. Dr. Hang explained that today at the conference, I have shared a case that when she came to the doctor's office, I've told you a few times, the story of a 10-year-old boy killing his father. Ina didn't care about that nonsense. Then she told the cave doctor, going out because I have something to say to Dr. Lai. Immediately afterwards, Dr. Lai wanted to know what had happened. A little later, Dr. Lai revealed to Hansam that it was Ina. Didn't say anything, but she asked me to give him this piece of the puzzle. Hansam immediately found Ina to ask when she received it. Reply Ina, tell me to help me get out of here, then I can say. Then she gave Hansam her alibi evidence. It was a business card of the taxi driver she had taken. On this side, Mr. Dongsu met Mr. Ho Gun and Mr. Jung Ho. Here he coughs. Gun admits. All the cases. Recently, they have all been mass murders. Including Mr. Chan-ji, it is already the 6th case. Ho Gun wants to set up a special investigation team. And he wants Mr. Dongsu to do this. Not long after, Ina was released thanks to evidence. Bailiff at the time of Mr. Chun-jin's death, Ina, confirmed to be taking a taxi. But what makes him sad? Wondered why she was returning to the Mr. Chun-jin's yacht. Ina revealed that when I arrived at the hotel, then someone knocked on the door of the car and gave me this piece of the puzzle. When I received it, I was redundant. knowing that an incident had just occurred. Murder, so I just went back. When his body was discovered to be slippery, then I'm curious. If I admit guilt on my behalf, how will the perpetrator react? He was trying to take advantage of me in killing people. So I want to know when I get. If you sink into the water, who will pull me up? But he still doesn't want me to sink anywhere. When I was arrested, apart from him, I met a total of 4 people. Mr. Ho Gun and Mr. Young Ho, Dr. Glass and Dr. Cave. Ina wonders, was the perpetrator one of the 4? Ina then immediately found Dr. Lai first. Today she suddenly wanted to change seats with her. Ina wonders why she came to Jeju. Because I have a workshop. Dr. Hang said there was an important presentation there. That workshop was scheduled 3 months ago. But I'm a suspect or something. Ina didn't answer, but continued to ask. When did you know me? But Dr. Lai, I thought that the person who came to me was you. Consult with a cave doctor. Feeling uncomfortable, she just changed it to me. Immediately afterwards, Ina wanted to go and interrogate the doctor. But he wasn't in the office. Then she went to see everything around the room on her own. On this side, the Hansam received a message from the needle in the gun of the Human Resources Department. Inside was Captain Young Ho's file. A little later, Hansam was at the police station, Mapo, to ask about Mr. Young Ho. A police officer here revealed that he never confided in him. The whole investigation is very sharp, but a little unfriendly. When going out to drink, then he had all the excuses to disappear all the time. Sometimes he said his brother had an urgent job. Sometimes it is said that there is this and that. Hansam suddenly realized that Mr. Young Ho didn't have a brother, because he used to be in an orphanage. Hearing that, this policeman couldn't help but be surprised. He remembers very well the day that the 2 drank alcohol. It is the day of the case of the general scene of the crowd, sitting drinking wine waiting for Mr. Young Ho. Then outside the police and ambulance cars rumbled. At that time, Young Ho wished to be as brave as a rat to enter. The expression on his face didn't seem very good. But there is nothing special about it. Sam then went to the pub that the policeman told. The distance from here to the Eastview house. More than 8 minutes. If Young Ho had been at the scene that night. Enough time. That day, Mr. Dong Su was transferred to the Hangjiang Police Department. He will be the head of the investigation team, especially in the case. A piece of the puzzle through what Ina. If you can analyze it, the puzzle piece will. The man who took the photo with his eye sewn was Mr. Kong brother. The man shoots the doll. The human figure is the general view of the island. Woman whispers Mi Jong. The man wearing the dancing armband is Kong Chi. Scooping the piece of the clown is Mr. John Su. And the man who participated in the contest to eat a lot of hamburgers. It is Mr. John Jean. The overall picture consists of 9 pieces of the puzzle. And there are still 3 missing. That is, 3 cases. More cases will occur in the near future. He wants people to find the perpetrator as soon as possible. It was the only way to save the lives of the other 3. Of the 4 people that Ina met at the Zizu police station, Young Ho is the person Hansam suspects the most. He used to be in charge of Kang Hyun's case. On the day of the massacre, the crowd was murdered. He was only 8 minutes away from the scene. Moreover, he was acquainted with Mi Jong before she was murdered. He once revealed to Hansam, is Mi Jong's resident card stolen? But it's just about navigating the investigation team. In Kong Kai's call list, Mr. Johnson's numbered spoon, but Mr. Young Ho still ignored it. But as for Chan Jin's case, it needs to be verified. It was that day. Is Young Ho in Jeju Island? Before he died, Mr. Chen Jin revealed to Ina that the other people who died were all in the one city apartment, because the builder of that apartment is Mr. Tran Jin. He also knows, after all, it's my turn. Mr. John Jin also mentions a son named Jong Han of his own. He thinks that his son and Ina used to know each other, but the strange thing is that I don't remember him at all. Young Ho knew that Hansam was suspicious of him, so take the initiative to find him. He had previously known that Hansam had gone to the Mapo police station to investigate about me. Mr. Young Ho did not deny what Hansam suspected. He advised Hansam to continue investigating, and he will continue his work. That evening, Mr. Young Ho came to Ina. Here he revealed to her The general view of the crowd once said that the night that Kang Hyun was murdered 15 years ago, his niece Ina, his was on the rooftop. If that's true, I don't know if she saw anything at that time. Ina immediately affirmed that it was too long, so I don't remember it well anymore. To know who is stealing the handkerchief, Han Sam wants Lieutenant N to perform a hypnosis. In a dream, he remembers that inspection team. His scene consisted of 6 people entering. He remembered that someone had picked up the towel and put it in his pocket. I remember that watch, and that person is none other than Captain Jung Ho. Han Sam immediately found Mr. Jung Ho. He didn't hide it anymore and pulled out the towel. What a surprise when he admits himself to being the perpetrator. Behind him, Mr. Jung Ho put his hands in handcuffs. To everyone's surprise, Han Sam then interrogated Jung Ho as a stranger, but he still couldn't accept it. My captain is a suspect again. Mr. Jung Ho admitted to having dealt with the previous people. As for Kang Chi, if you scoop it, you can't kill him directly. The person who sent the puzzle piece to Inspector Ina was also me. He wanted to call the room. Incoming news. Then he will answer why he did so. Ginseng Welding. Ask him if there are 3 more cases left. Why did he confess so early? He said that I was tired and wanted to finish. When the police searched Jung Ho's house, then know the fact that he adopted a lot of helpless children. Here Ina is happy that she has now solved the problem. Obsession with yourself. For the past 15 years she has asked. On the day my uncle died, he knew what I was going to do. Jung Ho admitted that it was unplanned. So when it's behind me, what did you think and why didn't you kill me? Mr. Jung Ho don't want to answer anything more. Until the room. Upcoming news. Through investigation, Mr. Jung Ho lost his father when he was 5 years old. My mother also ran away from home 2 years later. So he lives in an orphanage. STEM to maturity. The permanent residence registration address is not his. It's someone else who is in orphans. When he reaches the age of 18, he is required to leave the kindergarten. The kid's left with nowhere to go. Will focus on living in his house. People believe that Jung Ho is somewhere else. But where that place is, it is not possible to investigate. The police could not call the newsroom, because everything has not yet been clarified. Shortly thereafter, the police found the place where Mr. Jung Ho is living. It is a shabby-looking hostel. Inside, there are many photos that Mr. Jung Ho posing with orphans. He used to be such a child. So I love the children very much. The same situation. Han Sam and Ina visit the orphanage that Jung Ho once sponsored. The manager here didn't believe Jung either. Ho is the perpetrator. This uncle said that he grew up with Mr. Jung Ho at the orphanage. Jung Ho left when he turned 18. After Jung Ho passed the police school, then he came back here. At that time I was surprised because he changed so much. When he was here he being quite introverted and shy. But after entering the police university, it becomes a lot tougher. He used to say, there is one person that you must find. So he decided to become a police officer. As for who that person is, this uncle is not convenient to say. The person he always wanted to protect. It is the orphans. Han Sam brings back a list of the children that Mr. Jung Ho sponsored. Among these 21 children is the brother who is trying to protect. It's not true, but he immediately denied and said that those children were not involved in this case. Ginseng Welding, convinced that the perpetrator really one of those 21 children, and Jung Ho is trying to cover them up. As always, Jung Ho wants Han Sam called the newsroom to come. Then he will tell everything. Post-drought, Sam advises Mr. Jung, you should tell the truth, because the perpetrator was still out there and there were 3 pieces left. Graphed again, but he affirmed, determined that there will be no more murders, because it's all over. Ina also confirmed that Mr. Jung Ho is not the perpetrator, because he didn't know about the day my uncle died. Above all, Mr. Jung Ho has warmth, so it can't be done. People who are so selfless that they give up their homes to others. There's no reason to kill people, because you want to protect someone, and he's trying to distract us. That night, Han Sam suddenly released Jung Ho. I just investigated. On your day, Jong was murdered when he was in an orphanage. When Mr. John Soo, when he died, he was also at work. Police with Lieutenant N All alibi evidence is sufficient, so he can't be the perpetrator. Han Sam advised Jung Ho to withdraw from the case. Then he returned the phone to him, parachute free. But there are always people who follow Mr. Jung Ho. Anna. She went to the cave doctor and she wanted to go out with him. Sitting in the car, she asked why he knew me so much 5 years ago. I was introduced by a senior. 5 years ago, Ina's psychiatrist recommended. Give her a good junior, and that's Dr. Hang. So, before I was introduced, did you know me? Dr. Hang said that he doesn't remember anything anymore because it's been too long. So, I still remember the patient who became a shadow. Is that your business? Or the story of his relatives? I've seen you tell the story quite a few times. But Dr. Hang refused to reveal this. Lieutenant and watching Jung Ho. When he wants to go somewhere. Lieutenant and immediately reported this to Han Sam. Immediately Han Sam set off to follow Lieutenant and discovered Mr. Jung Ho seems to be wanting to make an appointment with someone, because his car has 2 more cars. Lieutenant and followed quietly, but was discovered by Mr. Jung Ho. He immediately rushed out to squeeze Lieutenant and, after trying for a while, Lieutenant and also fainted. Mr. Jung Ho immediately took the gun from his body. Then he went to find 2 other men. At this time, Mr. Jung Ho saw another person hiding in the reed field, pointing a gun at the other 2 men. Mr. Jung Ho immediately shot the heavens and told him to lie down for a while after welding. When Sam arrived, he saw Mr. Jung Ho lying on the ground. He immediately called an ambulance. When Mr. Jung Ho was still breathing, he revealed that I wanted to stop, but it is impossible. In the distance, another man was shot. Mr. Jung Ho repeatedly sent apologies to Han Sam. Everything was done by me. The whole me Zhang Kong Chi scooping up Jiansu is all bastards. That child is not at fault. Zhang A and Xiao Jin are the last words that Mr. Jung Ho spoke out. Then he left in Handsome's arms. Not long after, the police and Ina immediately present here. Han Sam regretted that I should have called the newsroom. Zhang A and Xiao Jin. Those were the last words that Jung Ho said to me. The victim this time was Mr. Baum, former chief prosecutor, and is currently an advisor to the law firm of Jean. Victims often hunt, and perhaps the perpetrator knew that too. The police said that Mr. Jung Ho, knowing the scene is thanks to monitoring location of the perpetrator. His phone disappeared at the scene. Perhaps the perpetrator was the one who took it. Mayor Zhang Chan, accompanying him, testified that suddenly Mr. Jung Ho shoots to the sky, then ran towards him to bomb. Mr. Jian saw that. I panicked so much that I ran away and didn't know anything anymore. Currently, the victim is Baum is being treated in critical condition. Whether he regained consciousness or not, it also depends on luck. The TV station is suddenly reporting on the pieces grafted by a serial killer. 6 puzzle pieces including 6 victims of the mysterious perpetrator. Mr. Hogu was very angry when he received this news. He wanted to know who had revealed it. This is for the TV station. It turned out that Ina was the one who revealed it. For Captain Jung Ho kept insisting on meeting with the information department. There must be a reason. Moreover, she wanted to bring out the light to see what the perpetrator really wants. That evening, Han Sam received a phone call from Ina. She revealed that she had a 7th piece of the puzzle. Han Sam was startled to return to his hospital bed to the bomb. Then he is still alive. She said he was stunned. Turn on the TV and go to the radio. Television is reporting on the 7th piece of the puzzle. The perpetrator did not send it to Ina but to send it. Go straight to the newsroom. At the same time, his heart rate to the bomb suddenly decreased. Then slowly turn it off completely. After he went to bomb cardiac arrest. Then the doctors were also present. Everyone quickly pressed his heart. But it's all too late. Han Sam immediately reported this to Ina. He was convinced that the perpetrator had converted, pretending to be a medical worker to break into harm. He went to bomb. Soon after, the two made an appointment to meet at the TV station to watch the puzzle piece. Saturday. Here, the female editor sends the puzzle back to both. Description: puzzle pieces. The children are standing in front of an old wizard. Female editor received via courier. So I don't know who sent it. Returning home, Han Sam reveals to Ina a detail that, after the day that Jiansu is murdered, Captain Jung Ho was present at the On City building. He was the one who hid the towel. At the scene, Han Sam wonders, is the owner of the towel being in that on city building? The next day, Ina went to the scene where Mr. Jung Ho and his grandfather went to the bomb and were shot. She imagines that the perpetrator knows too much. He went to bomb and hunted regularly. So I had a gun ready. Hunt in advance. But the perpetrator could not take full action. Okay, because you encounter variables. That variable is the appearance of Mr. Jung Ho. He didn't expect it at all. With his intervention. So Jung Ho is not an accomplice. The perpetrator accidentally shot Mr. Jung Ho. So he tried to save his life. Ina wonders the perpetrator and Jung Ho. After all, what is the relationship with each other? Through the examination he went to, bomb confirmed to be poisoned. It is possible that the perpetrator pretended to be a medical worker. Then give him injection porridge. Ginseng welding. Convinced that he was a person with medical knowledge. On this side I found Dr. Han. But the clerk reported that he had just gone out. Ina then went into Dr. Han's office. Here she saw a strange painting. When there is an engraved letter H underneath. Ina felt that Dr. Han was very suspicious. So she took his home key cable for a test check. The other side of the weld. Sam also started taking Dr. Han. And Dr. Lee is on the radar. Their hospital is located in the one city building. They are people with medical knowledge. They are close to Ina. And they used to appear on Jeju Island. On the day Chin Jin was murdered. At that moment, Han Sam receives a call from a public phone. The person on the other side suddenly asked, "Why do you think those pieces are due to?" The perpetrator sent to. And that person is Dr. Han Incheon. Shortly thereafter, the police body clarify the address of a public phone. Here Han Sam, seeing a car parked in the corner of an alley. And it has a camera. The journey through the inspection is limited. Sam finds out that the person is Dr. Han. At the same time, Ina was present at Dr. Han's house. Inside there are a lot of paintings, because he is also a painter. Here Ina also discovers that there is another painting, an H below. That H used to appear in the 7th puzzle piece. At the same time Sam calls and he reveals Dr. Han. In the case of the perpetrator, she also just knew that he was the one who drew the pieces. Grafting, but she didn't think he was the perpetrator. It's just drawing on behalf of someone else. Ina discovers that Dr. Han. There are a lot of photos with these. Male friend. There is only one photo taken with the woman. And that person is Dr. Lee. Ina suddenly remembered that the person who made me tell the story at night, the most murdered uncle, was Dr. Han Incheon and Dr. Lee Sungju. Dr. Lee is the one who always pulls. Ina rises every time she sinks. In recent cases, she is also a person who understands Ina well, not and manipulate Ina as he pleases. When I went to Dr. Lee, it was because he wanted to know what had happened. In about 10 minutes, I can't remember. Consider that I am the perpetrator of the murder of Uncle Dong. No, but Dr. Lee wants to. I know why it happened that night. During Ina, I was about to leave when I saw the next room open. She was curious, so she went inside and took a look. There are a lot of dolls of all kinds here, from new to old. There are other pieces of the puzzle. This place seems to contains a child's childhood. Ina immediately realized that this was Dr. Lee Sung's residence. Ju on the bed is the familiar yellow bag. And inside is the 8th piece of the puzzle. It depicts someone sitting on a throne. The other side. Dr. Han was summoned to the police station for questioning. He admitted 15 ago. Lai in the journey asked me to paint a picture. But it's not a puzzle piece. Moreover, he also did not believe that Dr. Lai was the perpetrator. At the same time Ina was here. She asks him what this 8th piece of the puzzle means. Dr. Ha realized. This piece of the puzzle is part of the painting that Dr. Lai. I once asked him to draw. But he didn't know what it meant anymore. The other side. The police raided Dr. Lee's workplace. But without her here. Via security cameras. Then I saw her climb into the car and disappear. From around that time. The next day, the police received the news that Congressman Kim was missing. Mr. Kim. Mo Jeong is the former Minister of Land and Transport. People ask questions. Is he the next piece of the puzzle? Now Ina. I would like to know who Dr. Lee Sungju really is. Only then can we know where she has gone and who she is. The other victim. Immediately, Dr. Han continued to be summoned too. Ina interrogated her and wondered if he and Lee Sung-ju lives together. But why don't you know anything? Or do you really like her so you should live with her? Dr. Lee reveals that Lee Sung-ju, being the only friend who knows my secret, am different from other men, because I'm gay, so there is no relationship like you think. Me and Lee Sung-ju used to intern together at a hospital. After opening a clinic in one city, Lee Sung-ju asked me to be the co-director. Han Sam asked, "Have you ever heard of a person named Jung Ho?" Dr. Han confirmed that he is not. But when I was studying for a specialty, the police, I met her a few times. It was the first time someone had found Lee Sung-ju. Moreover, he is also a police officer. So everyone in the hospital. Speculation is her ex. That time period. Lee Sung-ju takes a year off from school. But I don't know what the reason is. She has no friends. Ina is the closest person to Lee Sung-ju. I also heard that the Nazi male sergeant studied with her when she was in middle school. Ina immediately found the sergeant Nam to ask about Lee Sung-ju. She revealed that she was not close at all. But in the 8th grade I went to the same class. She was quiet and seemed to be something very special. So it's a bit difficult to get close to. But there is one thing that I will always remember. On the day of the picnic, those who do not go must stay at the school to study on their own. At that time it was just me and Lee Sung-ju who stayed at the school. He said he stayed at the school because he didn't want to go to the park. When he was 7 years old, he got lost in an amusement park because she was abandoned by her mother. So later he had to grow up in an orphanage. I once recommended him to go to an amusement park to try it out. Maybe you can find a clue. But do you know what it says? He said that if he found his mother, he would kill her. Ina goes to a detective to ask about the cases of the 7 lost children. 35 years ago, he typed in Lee Sung-ju's name. But no child has such a name. But at the same time in the Park of Dreams, there is a 7-year-old child named Lee Seo is lost in 7. Ina wondered if it was Lee Sung-ju's old name. At the banner, "Find a Lost Child." Ina learns that the mother of a lost child of 7 is named Lee Nam-suk. She opened a restaurant called Seo Jin. That is also the name that Mr. Jung Ho used to say it before he died. Ginseng welding. Reaching out to Jung Ho's friend at the orphanage, he asked about the child Lee Seo. Did the 7 peanuts ever stay here that year? After a pause, then he will tell the truth. I don't remember the name, but Jung Ho used to want to find someone. As the daughter of the owner of Seo Jin, that's where Jung Ho used to work. That shop was located in Shindong A Market 25 years ago. And the One City building. Now it's building on that ground. The owner of the restaurant has died in a fire. Jung Ho himself almost died because of that incident. Han Sam went to building 1 City. Ina is already here. It turns out that this place used to be a Shindong market 25 years ago. Mr. Jung, before working as a police officer, he used to work in a restaurant. Seo Jin, at that time he came to the restaurant. There are a lot of barehead names surrounding this area. The main leader is Kong Chi-scoop. They are forcing people to leave here to build the project. One City. Mahjong himself also participated in this case, so look for the owner of the Seo Jin restaurant to convince. Although the investor promised will compensate a decent amount of money. But Mrs. Nam-suk refused. She wants to stay here to continue looking for the missing daughter. Mahjong was angry outside and told Kong Chi, "Scoop it up and tear it down. Going to work according to the law, there is no problem to be afraid of." But he thinks that doing so will be chaotic. Back to reality. When Ina returned home, she saw a familiar shadow of that year, and that person is none other than Lee Jung-ju. Ina asked that she must have been very happy in the past time. Look at me doubting myself. Watching me struggle to solve puzzles. You must find it very interesting. Lee Jung-ju shook his head. Then I thought I was very worried. Because I want you to keep up. Not too fast and not too slow. So is the next victim Mr. Kamoji B? Lee Sung-ju didn't answer but wanted to Ina. Follow me to a place. Ina was a little scared. But when listening to Lee Sung-ju, Bao doesn't want to know who the last person is. Then she felt curious. Ina just got into the car when Han Sam called. Seeing that, Lee Sung-ju wanted the electric. Then she didn't hesitate to throw it away. Because I don't want anyone to bother me. Lee Sung-do revealed to Ina, knowing that after I did my first case, no one cares. No one cares why people die, and no one cares what that piece of the puzzle means. At that time, I felt that if no one understood, it also becomes meaningless. So I stopped for a while, until I stumbled upon her. The child I left behind that night appeared in front of me again. Ina wonders why he didn't kill me. Lee Sung-ju tells her that she is not the perpetrator. So why is Captain Jung Ho was not the perpetrator but also died because of her? Then Lee Sung-ju said that he didn't die at my hands. That handkerchief is my mother's relic. Lee Sung-ju tried to leave it at the scene, but Mr. Jung Ho took it away and returned it to her. He wanted her to live a normal life, like everyone else. Skiing is possible. Go see the sea and celebrate Christmas with friends. He always advised Lee Sung-ju to stop. But Lee Sung-ju, ignoring everything and thinking it's too late. Jung Ho understands her hatred and indignation, but revenge is of no use. He thinks that now is not too late for Lee Sung-ju to stop. He also voluntarily accepted responsibility on her behalf, and wants her to live a life of her own. Mr. Jung Ho wanted to do so because he was indebted to Mrs. Nam, having carried a helpless person like me. He also blamed himself. If you can't find Lee Sung-ju, then everything didn't happen. Then pull Lee Sung-ju into a vortex. This revenge, but not with Lee Sung-ju. She thinks that this will happen in the end. On the other side, Han Sam went to Ina's house. He called her, but I saw the phone dropped in the middle of the road. Knowing that it is not good, so he immediately notified the police. Wanted for Ina's car. Then they found her car running on the road. Lieutenant Won wonders why Ina was kidnapped. Is she the last piece of the puzzle? But Han Sam doesn't think so. Han Sam suddenly remembered the Jamaga Road leading to Building 1. City. He wondered where it started. Is it also a place? And this side. Lee Sung-ju and Ina were present at the One City building. Lee Sung-ju asks Ina, that why not ask why I killed them? 01 who said sorry to me? Or have they forgotten who Lee is? Ina asked where the rest of the victims were. Then Lee Sung-ju said in apartment 5802. Then she gave it to Ina, the house entry card, and reveal there is the last piece of the puzzle. Ina went inside and called Mr. Kamoji's name, but there was no one. She saw the familiar yellow bag and immediately opened it. Inside is the final piece of the puzzle, but it was blackened. At the same time, a figure fell through the window. When Han Sam and everyone arrived, Mr. Kim Mog. Bees fall right in front of you. A terrifying sight that startled everyone. Ina ran to the rooftop to check but saw no one. At that moment, Han Sam was also here and asked where Lee Sung-ju was. Ina says she's gone. I thought I could save him in time. That's why I followed her here. Ina wonders why she's coming to find me. Didn't come to kill me either. Maybe it's to see my helpless expression. Ina shows Han Sam the last piece of the puzzle. With this black puzzle piece, Ina thought it was related to the market fire that year. On the way back, Ina reveals to Han Sam, knowing that her older uncle had killed, suppression of the fire, in exchange for 3 apartments in One City. But it's all under my name. In the year I went to high school, then he sold a house there to buy 1 luxury homes in East Hanam. My parents are also members of the Market Reconstruction Association. Shin Dong. They own 10 booths there. She wondered, where does the story end up? Return to base. Han Sam investigates Kim Moji. He once received a large bribe from Mr. Jansu. He is convinced that there is a person behind Mr. Kim Moji. More bees involved in this fire. But I don't think so. In the 7th puzzle piece. Then Mr. Kim Moji B sits on the throne. Fennel is the last. Then what the 2 of them want to know now is Lee Sung-ju. Where to go next? 9 pieces completed. And the overall picture behind is a dream park, where Lee Sung-ju got lost. Mom and both wondered, what does this black match mean? At that moment, Han Sam receives a phone call from Lieutenant and they found Lee Sung-ju after leaving One City, then climb into a luxury taxi. The driver claimed to have taken her to the Nanjeongju funeral home. That place now houses the body of the gypsy captain. Immediately Han Sam set off to find the funeral home. As for Ina, we'll come to the dream theme park through the camera. Security at the funeral home Lee Sung-ju, appeared here. She went out on her own in the rain within 30 minutes. Just stand there. Look inside without taking action or saying anything. Before you leave. Decide Ina. Looking for an amusement park, Lee Sung-ju was here. In her hand she held a vial of medicine. It's like wanting to end it all. Lee Sung-ju tells Ina about his memories of that year. When I have played all kinds of games in this park. I have stood here many times waiting for my mother. But I didn't know that my mother was waiting for me at the restaurant. Every day I imagine. Mom's face will appear at some point. Imagine my mom laughing and crying when she sees me. Imagine she says, "Looked for me for a long time but didn't abandon me." I want to say the same words to my mother too. But I don't remember that restaurant. At this time, the light bulbs here are turned on. Suddenly sent an apology to Lee Sung-ju. She admitted that she knew about her uncle and my parents. I'm no different from the main characters in the puzzle. But Lee Sung-ju doesn't think it's Ina's fault. Ina wonders, why did you play classical music in your car? So what does that song mean? Lee Sung-ju revealed. It's not that I open it, but the eyelashes in the open. After getting on the bus, I was gonna turn it off, but because it was too good. I live without knowing those things. It's so good that makes me forget that I got into that car to kill people. Ina advises Lee Sung-ju to stop, because she can go on to live such a life, or do things that she has never done before. But I've done what I need to do. Now I don't want to live anymore, and there's no reason to live, because I can't stand myself anymore. At that moment, Han Sam was here and pointed his gun at the fig Jew glass. She wonders, after all, why do people try to live so hard? Is there any reason for you to want to continue living? Shui Yu coldly lit the lighter. She sets herself on fire. She tries to endure this fire. Then he entered the place where he had lost his mother. Moreover, she wants to know how her mother feels when dealing with the fire in the market. The victim of the last piece of the puzzle is the fig glass. Duina. Then they were taken to the station to get testimony about the conversation with Lee Sung-ju. Ina did not declare any details. Then he said that he didn't remember anything. The colleague turned to ask Han Sam. Then you are as dumb as mussels. Identical to Ina. Days later, Ina went out by herself in the room and refused to meet anyone. Han Sam came to visit every day. But they all received a sentence from the maid that she didn't step out of the room. Then he asked the maid to send this cup of coffee to Ina. That day Ina suddenly came to the office and submitted a resignation letter. It seems that the case about the uncle has been solved, so she was no longer entangled. Ina went to the Dream theme park. Dream of the place where Lee Sung-ju burned himself. At the same time, Han Sam was also present here. Han Sam tries to get Ina back to work, but she insisted on saying no. Immediately afterwards, he led Ina to the house to have a meal. Here, Ina wonders why his mother lives in the one building. City, he said. At first I told her that I wanted to be a police officer. My mother was worried and said that the salary was very low, so I used my name to register. Housing raffle. But luck won this apartment. Ina then had an interview, especially with the TV station, to talk about puzzle pieces and a single perpetrator. The editor asked a question. Why she became a psychological investigator. She didn't hesitate. Tell me, I want to analyze my own profile. See if I'm the perpetrator. Kill your uncle or not. I used to doubt myself. And that's why I became a psychological investigator. The female editor continued to ask. So now she had no doubts. Myself too. After listening, Ina left a blank space. That day there was a murder at the forced demolition area. The victim was a 23-year-old Miso. The perpetrator, after murdering her, he used threads to stitch up the wound. Ginseng welding. Inquiries. Why did the perpetrator have to do this on purpose? At that moment, Ina, suddenly present. Then he said that because he wanted to show others his masterpiece. What I created. The perpetrator combed her hair as he wished, put on makeup and even put on a nice dress for her. The perpetrator must be delusional. So I want to soothe my loneliness and emptiness. Then the moment he met the victim, the perpetrator, think it's the object to implement. Illusion. And then, want to show off your unique work. Ina suddenly took out a puzzle piece. It seems that the perpetrator left it to her. That's why Ina continues to return to this job. something that stimulates Ian's own curiosity.